Are we actually live?
We are, yeah. Yeah, we are.
All right. Welcome to the Comics Pals. Thank you guys for joining, where we are all hopped up on that G Fuel. We all took a sip of that Baja Blast, so we came with energy to talk to you guys about what a crazy week it has been.
A little bit.
In DC film
Life.
land, in DC Comics. I mean DC multimedia entertainment land.
Yeah, just DC now.
Yeah, just DC.
Marvel was
It's
awfully quiet this week. They were just like,
yeah,
you guys do your thing.
they hung back, dude. Marvel was like, hey, San Diego Comic Con was great. We got people talking about our trailer. It was kind of nice. We had people crying, happy tears, and it was very emotional and speculation. And then DC was like, all right, this is the best time to burn it all down. Like, now is a great time to burn everything down.
We don't need speculation. We're gonna tell you exactly how we fuck shit up.
That's right. That's right. And we're gonna be talking about that in our main topic. That's gonna be most of the show, quite frankly, because there's so much to get into. It's frankly remarkable. What's up, Trapzord? Welcome. Say hello as you guys join. Um, uh, Frankly, I think we're gonna want to hear from you guys too about how you're affected or how you feel about all this, because there's a lot to it. There's a lot to get into. And we're going to do that. Tyler is here.
Hey guys, hello. How's it going?
Marco's here.
Howdy, folks.
Whoa, is that what you say? That's not what you
That's
say.
that's a new one.
I don't know what I say.
Got a snake in my boot.
Let's
Marco.
go.
All right, and I'm here too.
So
Matt,
just one alert, guys. Kale is not on the show this week because of a tax write off.
yeah.
And also any previous episodes he was on are also gone from the feed. Oopsie.
So this is actually episode 2 of the Comics
Episode
Pals.
episode like 6. Yeah, yeah.
Well, right, yeah. Well, actually, this might be episode 150. If we're being real here. What's up, Catfish? What's up, Matt? Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining. So we're gonna be talking a lot of DC today. But that's not all. We have a couple more things we're gonna be talking about. New Black Panther comic that's coming, and we got a little more news about Joker 2. Folly Adieu.
You speak great French, Sean.
Thank you, dude. I've been practicing it all night. And I think I nailed it, so I appreciate it.
I think so.
It's a good job.
Yeah. What's up, Lennon? Thank you for joining. All right. So, before we get into everything, I do want to let you guys know how you can support the show. Of course, there is a link tree in the description of everything that we do, where you can find all of our links. But the absolute best way to help us out is to subscribe on patreon.com/thecomicspals, where for as little as $3 a month, you can support your boys and you get access to our newsletter. Tyler is trying to get you sloshed.
Oh, I got plans for the next one. Trust me.
Oh, all right.
Let's just say that there's been a pattern so far about how my drinks have been going. First was a Thor Love and Thunder kind of homage. This past one was a Miss Marvel homage. I wonder if there's any Marvel stuff coming out this month that I could play on. Maybe I'll make a nice tall drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. Okay, nice little tease there. Is it gonna be green?
It's got to be green.
Yeah,
Gotta
Green,
right.
I'm green with envy with your drinks, Tyler.
I think I just had a drink called the Incredible Hulk. Is that possible? Is there such a drink?
I mean, anyone could call that the drink and put it on a menu. Yeah.
Yeah, just throw some celery in there. You're good.
Or like a Gamma Punch or something like that.
Because one of my friends made a drink that we were drinking, and I thought he said it was called Incredible Hulk, but I guess you're right. Yeah.
I make drinks and I call it shit that I just made up too when I have people over.
Yeah, Gordon's
Fair
right. Absinthe is absolutely green. There you go. Could be a little absinthe.
Could think Midori, but I don't really like melon flavor. But
Well, getting drunk off Tyler's drinks is not the only thing you can get from our Patreon. You can also listen to our Patreon exclusive show, Palling Around. And for $10 or more, you yourself can join the Palsverse. You get a snazzy superhero or supervillain nickname and a shout out on the show. So, without further ado, we are saying thank you very much to these fine folks. Thunderstruck, Rebecca Alejandro, The Night Stalker, Harris Nijinsky, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Random Rocio, Kefis the Incorruptible, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Momentum, Mike Elliott, Starcross, Catherine Stars, Indestructible, Indy Aaron, The Hellspawn Scribe, Nihilus, and The Ultimate Fighter, Snake of Talons. Thank you to you, wonderful, beautiful people. We appreciate you.
I somehow started watching again early Ultimate Fighter clips. Before they had weight classes, and they weren't athletes. It was literally just like cage fighting, just like backyard cage fight.
You're talking about like Ultimate Fight, like mixed
like
martial arts.
Like UFC kind of like Ultimate Fighter
UFC.
stuff. Yeah. Like early stuff. Oof, that is a mess, and it's very
crazy. You like it?
Yeah, because it proves that like even I can be an Ultimate Fighter if I drink enough or have enough confidence.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I think you hit the mark already.
I know some places where we can go. Where
Sean, honest question: do you think I've ever been in a fight?
No, I don't.
No, you're right. Hell no.
Good.
I once pretended I was deaf to get out of a fight. So,
wow! Please,
What the fuck?
please tell this story.
This is not. I guess it's tellable. I mean, it's not the most kosher of stories, but I was on a date, and we were like on the last train home, which is really a rowdy train, and there was like a dozen just drunk dudes on the train. Mm-hmm. So my funny ass was sober at the time. I thought it'd be funny to videotape it because this is like during like the height of like World Star. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a viral video. It's great. One of them saw me videotaping it. Decided to take my phone from me. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm like, shit, there's too many of them. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. My date, she's drunk as shit. She doesn't even know what's going on right now. I did some quick math, and then I just started faking sign language, and then like muttering, saying like I was deaf. And they're like, oh, sorry, and they gave me my phone back. Yo, it was the most cowardly shit ever, but it got me out of the situation. So.
It's called resourceful, Tyler.
Yeah,
Resourceful.
Yeah, you know that Zach Galifianakis hangover meme where like the math is going on in his head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I disabled face. I really did self. It was fucked up, but
wow. You know what? Yeah, you should drink to that.
It was a mess. It was a mess, but
that is unbelievable, dude.
Not my proudest moment. So.
You know what? I feel like that is a story that could have been, probably should have been on Palling Around.
There's a teaser, guys. There's a teaser.
I don't know if that was mainline feed.
I ain't proud of it. Trust me. I brought it up in therapy. It's great. Wow. I mean, that's what Palling Around is. It is a therapy feed in some points.
You're right. Yeah. But I do also want to mention, if you want to watch this show live, we go live every single Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. We had a great time this week talking Batman, talking Dark Crisis, a bunch of stuff. So that was fun. Our Chainsaw Man book club is out. It's out. It's live. You guys are watching it.
A little late, sorry.
To me. Huh?
I said it was a little late. That's my bad. I forgot it was August.
Please. Don't tell the people when you make a mistake.
Jazz.
Yeah, exactly. It was intentional.
Yep.
You wanted it so bad, we made you wait. There you go. YouTube.com/TheComicsPal. Subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. All that stuff's free to do. Helps out a lot more than it costs you. And last but not least, join our Discord server. We would love to have more of you guys out there. Come hang out with us and chit chat.
Sean, regarding the Chainsaw Man book club, people seem to like it.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
How does it make me feel that people like the book club?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. I don't want to blow our load about how you like the book or didn't like the book, because listen or watch the episode to figure that out.
I'll say this. I really love to give the listeners what they want.
Fair.
And if that's what the listeners want, that's what we do. You guys want us to talk Chainsaw Man? We talk Chainsaw Man. And not only do you like it, you've been listening. So that's what matters. You guys tune in. I'm happy.
Gotta say that trailer for the anime came out too. Oof.
Oof good or oof
Oof
bad?
Really good. It looks phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd recommend both of you check it out. Yeah.
Sylv says, hurry up so I can get back to Sandman. I haven't started.
It's very good.
Yeah?
Yeah, real good.
I watched the first episode. Surprisingly dedicated to the source material with minor adjustments, but it's very good. A lot of the shots are shot for shot out of the book.
There's like the scene of him breaking out. Oh, I was just like,
yeah.
I did the whole Leo thing. I'm just that's the thing. It's from the book.
I'm gonna have to tune in. I wanna check it out. It's just so much television. It's unbelievable. There's way too much to watch. Matt asked, did you guys time it with the trailer on purpose? Of course we did. Absolutely we did.
Yeah, we knew the trailer was coming out right beforehand, so we knew the search, the SEO on it would be much better.
Tyler's cousin's dad works there, and he took this off. That's what it was.
On the Japanese side of my family. Yeah, he used to work for Nintendo a couple years back.
Brother.
Keep skirting it. Keep skirting it.
I just
good.
Tyler Yoshida over here. Oh man, you know what? Because Tyler is heading into the danger zone, let's pivot away from him.
Oh man, I wish we could play that song.
Focus on you all in the listener comments section. Now we have quite a few comments. Tyler, do you want to split these duties here? Because
duty.
Yeah. So here we got. I'll just go for it. If you see me flubbing stuff, just stop me and take over. So Snake of Talons said on episode 300, great episode. My fiance and I played the ab guessing game together, and I got more of them than her. Don't know what that says about me or her. Absolutely love my superhero name in addition to the Palsverse. Happy 300 and 300 more.
Cheers, bud.
Yeah, awesome. Snake, you've been listening forever. Thank you so much for the support, the Ultimate Fighter.
It's just funny to me that shitty ab game that I made, that somebody is at home playing that game with their fiance.
Right. Yeah, like they're sitting in front of their computer or whatever, playing this game that you created, looking at abs.
And game in like very loose quotations too.
Yeah.
So Matt commented on the 300th episode. I finally sat down to watch this, and 3 hours and 40 minutes. I love the commitment to the bit. Yeah, that was a meta bit. It's exactly what we went for.
We're consistent.
If anything else.
That's right.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Yeah. All right, on episode 301, is Marvel making a mistake with Black Panther? So Chillmonger, still one of my favorite names. I'm more in favor of Echo getting her story told. Changing Namor for a movie is a band-aid solution. That representation can/will be taken away in his next appearance. So, I don't know what you mean by that last part, Chillmonger.
I have clarification because Chill actually followed up, and what he meant was that the next version of Namor, like whenever there's a reboot or something like that way down the line, would not continue with this. Like, it wouldn't be this version. And to that I say, I don't know when there's going to be a reboot, dude. Like, the MCU is not restarting anytime soon. This is Namor.
Yeah. They've never done that so far.
Yeah.
And like, what a reboot would happen when I'm geriatric at this point. Like it seems to be continuity heavy, and that's the draw of the MCU.
Yeah, especially right now. I don't foresee that. Honestly, they would have to rebrand the entirety of the MCU at this point to change one thing. Everything would have to change.
Yeah, I think he meant just that if when the MCU is rebooted, this Namor won't carry over, which maybe it will, dude. Like, I don't
But
know.
then nothing will carry over. Like,
Right,
if
yeah.
it's a reboot, then what are you worrying about at that point?
Yeah. I do want to. Should I read his? Yeah, he had an example, but I think you guys get it. Yeah. And
Next
as far
one,
as
Sean?
Echo getting her story told, yeah, we're all in favor of that. I think that's going to be awesome.
So Marley on 301. I figured they were going to recast at the end of the movie by saying another dimension's Black Panther came through a portal in Multiverse of Madness. A soft reboot or recast could also happen in 2025 Secret Wars. I thought that could have been a possibility too, just on face value. But I think the legacy of Chadwick Boseman is too important to just write it off with some wibbly wobbly multiversal thing. You know, it just seems at this point for me, especially after seeing that Wakanda Forever trailer, it's like the meat is there for some impactful storytelling. Why just comic book it?
Yeah. I actually had the thought the other day. I'm like, what if they made it that Chadwick Boseman, that Black Panther, was a Skrull? And I'm like, how fucking disrespectful as like of a concept. And I like backed away from it. I'm like, hold on a second, that would fuck everything up.
Yeah, I think
Debating
they're just
yourself.
gonna.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna recast unless. I don't think there's a. I'm at the point where I don't believe there is a version of this where a new T'Challa just walks through a portal. I think either they recast and it's clear that that's what's happening at the end of Black Panther 2, or when Secret Wars ends, it ends in a way that it kind of reshuffles the deck and it makes it so that Black Panther is alive again and there's no explanation to it outside of this is what Secret Wars did and it's just a different actor.
The only other thing I can think of is like if we find out that T'Challa had a son or something like that, you know, and they use some kind of like time jump or Secret Wars to do that time jump where like we have a new, not T'Chaka or T'Chassa or something like that, you know, like just a new person who carries on that legacy who is related to T'Challa.
Some Nick Fury shit, like
Not even not, like I don't know. Part of me was like, you know, in the trailer, where I think it's like Nakia saving like a kid who's in pajamas or something. I'm like, they focused on that a little too hard. I'm like, I wonder if that kid.
It's not crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because
There's plenty of time.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? That could easily be what they go with. What else you
Okay.
got?
So I turned the Chainsaw Man book club. So we said, all right, get the sirens ready. Not all weebs are created equal. You take a look at Sean and know that this is not true. Glad to see this being in a book club. I know the right to left reading takes a little adjusting, but a worthwhile adjustment for good stories and manga. My question is, do you think the book club would have worked as well if Denji wasn't dumb? Also, can't wait to see the sequel to this book club to cover the rest of the volumes. The rest, there's like 100.
No, there's the volumes. It's like maybe it goes up to like 11 or 12.
Oh, that's all. Oh, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
it stops at like issue 98.
All right, then we can do it. Do you think the question?
We did 52 books of Saga. I think we can handle 98.
Dude, Saga actually has a point.
Wow.
Hold on a second.
This dude said, "Fuck devil."
Gotta read to the end. Hold on.
Fair enough, but to answer Harris's question, I think I would have enjoyed the book a lot more if Denji wasn't dumb. Yeah, of course. I think
I think that's the part of the book. That's the point.
That he's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that the point?
I feel like that's kind of just like shonen manga template is the
Yeah.
the titular like the character like Naruto or Goku. They're kind of dumb, childlike, and immature, and it's that growth that you see throughout the series that kind of lends to the character.
I'm not into that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have preferred it if Denji wasn't like a creepy weirdo. And I think it's weird that people like that. Like he's creepy. He's not just like dumb. He's also sexually creepy, and like I
He's a
don't
bit
know
of a
why
sex
people.
pest. He's a bit of a sex
Yeah,
pest. Yeah.
I don't know
Very
how they
much.
get away with that, and no one criticizes it.
Oh, it's
Like the-
criticized,
like-
but just like it
like-
just continues to happen.
like you have Western comics like, oh, what's this person's call to action? Well, he let the robber who killed his uncle go, or his parents were killed in front of him, and then you go to Japan and it's, well, he wants to touch some titties.
Check mark. Done.
Yep. All right, we got our character.
Unreal.
All right, and then JD responded to the same Chainsaw Man book club. You guys need to keep reading. It definitely gets deeper. Gets deeper was a real choice of words there, buddy.
Genuinely, it gets to like some of the things that you touch upon, Sean, in like the critiques of it, and you guys should definitely go listen to like hear that out. But there are those topics that get touched on, the things that you called out specifically, which is why I think the character is portrayed the way that he is. It all leads up to these multiple emotional beats and addresses some of the issues that you had on it.
Okay, well, you know what? My Shonen Jump subscription, those fuckers got me.
Yeah, dude.
I
You're
still
real
have
bad
it.
with subscriptions, Sean.
I should not have subscriptions because I forget. Dude, I just got hit for $30 from Barnes and Noble. You know when the last time was
For
that
what?
I was inside of a Barnes and Noble?
Oh,
for
they
me to
auto renew
purchase?
the membership?
Auto renew. Dude,
Oh,
I haven't
nah.
been or purchased from Barnes and Noble since before the pandemic.
I didn't
You
know
got
there's still
got.
Barnes and Nobles around.
I just got
Sean,
that
do you have
the
an
other day.
iPhone or do you have an Android?
I have an iPhone.
Okay, yeah, you just go to settings, click your name up top, and then there's subscriptions. You can see all your subscriptions and just cancel them right there.
Really? For free?
No, I think well, it depends how you set it up, but you have
If
to
you
do it
made
through-
the subscription through the App Store, then
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can do that.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, no, then you got to do it the manual way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Womp.
Yeah, that's a good
Shonen
point,
Jump.
Silv. It is cheap.
Shonen Jump on your phone though, like TMI, great bathroom app. Like
Oh god.
so you can just like read, while you're having your morning constitutional.
You're supposed to think when you're doing that.
Oh, what are you, the thinker statue on the toilet? Like just
Yeah.
like, Sean's just full on in deep contemplation.
It's where the best ideas come from. You know that.
For me, it's a shower. Get a nice shower beer.
Yeah.
Then we have on this week's Pals Pulse. We have Alexander Bruno. I'm not recognizing that name, so if you're a first-time commenter, hello. As a lifelong DC fan, Marco and Tyler are spot on about Dark Crisis. I hope I start to like it as much as Sean does as the series goes on, but we're already close to the halfway point.
Yep.
For context, I liked Dark Crisis 3 a lot, and these two Jokers didn't. So Alexander agrees with them. I'm not calling you a Joker, but
Well, he's just DC. I get it. Yeah.
Sure. And then Terry Young commented, definitely keep reviewing Zdarsky and Jimenez's Batman.
There it is. The people
We
have
asked
spoken.
for it. Yeah, they responded.
and Terry actually subscribed as well.
Ooh,
So
thank
thank you. Appreciate that. And we will continue to read it.
It's good.
If anyone, it was really good. And if a person tells us they want it, it's probably not just that one person, right? So
Isn't it wild that the guy who is writing insane runs on Batman and Daredevil simultaneously, the fact that that's happening is kind of mind blowing. But the fact that it's Chip Zdarsky, like you would have told me this like when Sex Criminals came out. I'm like, that artist who draws Sex Criminals, he's gonna be writing Daredevil and Batman, and it's gonna be really good.
it's crazy. It's really crazy. Hey, Catherine, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. All right. So thank you to everybody who wrote in. We really, really appreciate all the comments. You guys killed it this week. Um, let's get into the news because we talk all that Black Panther talk,
Wakanda
and
forever.
Marvel is getting us ready for the arrival of Wakanda Forever with a comic book. So we're getting a comic, a one shot called Black Panther Unconquered. Okay, cool, fine, sure. It is a prequel to the Wakanda Forever film.
Is
Okay,
it?
yeah, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see that in the article that you sent.
I saw something about it being related, but maybe I'm misinterpreting that.
It's new secrets about Wakanda's ancient past and unlock a new connection to the Panther god Bast.
So they're sort of labeling it as a jumping on point.
Yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not quite a prequel, but if you're hyped for the movie, this will give you a little bit more to chew on, I guess.
Specific timing, yeah.
The creative team is what's most exciting for me.
Yeah.
Because this is actually the return to Marvel of one Brian Edward Hill.
Let's go.
And it's not just him, it's also Alberto Fauci.
Ouchie.
Fauci.
Fauci
No.
ouchie.
Wow. Brian hasn't written for Marvel, I believe, since Fallen Angels was canceled. The Expo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was a whole debacle. And so Brian kind of took a sabbatical from Marvel and did limited stuff elsewhere. But it's really kind of put comics on the back burner for the last year or so.
Mostly
And
TV,
now
right?
TV, film. He's
Oh.
working on the Power Rangers movie.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, it's only a one shot. But the reason why I'm so excited for this is because Brian Edward Hill's Killmonger from 2018, that miniseries that he did, was
Fantastic.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
with
really
the
good.
Juan Ferreira art, really good.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, really impressive. Showed he had an understanding of Wakanda, and so I'm interested to see what he has to say about Black Panther because that mini was really not about him. So this should be good. It's a one shot, but I'm excited.
I kind of hope he brings Killmonger into it somehow. It's really dealing with the history of Wakanda and, Bast as a character, which interesting choice of that because gods is a big thing that we're dealing with in the MCU right now. So a refocusing on some of the gods of Wakanda is maybe something there.
Yeah,
But yeah, looks good. Ken Lashley cover too. Oof.
Ted Lashley. Yep.
fun to have a new series. I don't think we've read like stuff sporadically for Pulse, and then we did the book club for it. So yeah, if there's like new Black Panther stuff that can get me hyped for it, it's cool. Always down.
The current run really didn't do a lot for me. The first couple of issues that I read, they were all right.
Who's
Was it
on
the
that?
space stuff?
No. The new stuff. That's
Oh, the new stuff with the
who's
artist who the artist that was on all new Wolverine, I think, right? Isn't it?
I'm not sure, but I'm looking it up. I think we're all doing the same thing right now.
The
Volume 8. Okay.
Yeah.
the fact that there's also the
Oh, John Ridley
yeah
Thank
and
Herman
Juan
Peralta.
Cabal. Yeah.
Oh, is it not this person? Herman
It
Peralta?
launched with Juan Cabal, and I think it's Herman Peralta right now, which I do have a Peralta commission of Magneto that is very good. Peralta
nice.
is very good. So.
Dude, I want to get my commission game up, man. I've actually never done one.
Are
You're
you
Comic
serious?
Con, man.
Right here, these two.
Yeah. They're so expensive.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
In my head, it's like, oh, that's my full budget. It's like that's what I use it on, rather than like little knickknacks here and there. But I do like I only have villains, specifically Marvel villains, for my stuff.
Oh.
So I got
Is
a
that
whole
your
wall
theme?
going. Yeah. I need Kang Dong Kang hasn't been done yet, so I think that's what I'm looking out for this New York Comic Con.
Tyler, can you guess what my theme is?
Let me get Swamp Thing.
You know what? You'd be right.
Yeah.
What's up, Chillmonger? Everybody subscribe to Chillmonger on YouTube. Throw him a sub. He's a good guy. Thank
He's
you
like
for
if
joining.
Killmonger were chill.
Wow. You guys want to hear a fun, very, very interesting Easter egg? It's really inconsequential at the end of the day, but it's just kind of a cute thing that Marvel did.
Shoot.
So, you both watched Loki, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So,
Is this Loki spoilers?
it's not quite. It's not okay. So
Can I press the spoiler button?
Loki came out like
it's
last
not really.
year.
It's actually more about Hawkeye. It's more about Hawkeye.
Okay, so Hawkeye spoilers.
It's a Hawkeye spoiler.
Push the button.
It didn't work, guys.
and it's hardly a spoiler.
There we go.
So in Hawkeye, one of the key things that they're doing is they're trying to find a watch that belongs to Hawkeye's wife, Laura Barton. So at the end of the show, we learn, and again, sorry if you're being spoiled right now. It's a very minor thing. We learn that the watch is it's got a shield logo on it, and it's got the number 19 as well. The implication, they don't really dive into it at all. It's not the focus, but the implication is that she is Mockingbird. Agent 19 is Mockingbird. So she retired from being Mockingbird to be a family man. That's a Street Fighter joke. Guile, when he beats you, he tells you to go home and be a family man.
Okay.
The watch though has a tag which says Lot 268 Avengers Compound. All right. Do you guys want to? Don't look it up, Tyler. I see you going for it. Does anybody want to take a guess as to the relevance of the number 268?
268, all
Is
all
it
divisible by twos.
Is it Avengers issue 268?
Okay, so it is, but what is that?
First appearance of Mockingbird.
No.
All right, that's a good
First
shot
appearance
there.
of Hawkeye.
No.
No, Hawkeye's it's very early on in Avengers. Is it
It
the marriage
is-
of Hawkeye and Mockingbird?
No. It is the first issue of the Kang Dynasty.
Oh,
interesting.
cheeky
Yeah.
bastards.
Very
All right.
cute. So they kind of tucked that into
An
Hawkeye.
inconsequential show. I mean, Hawkeye.
Oh man, I don't know. I enjoyed Hawkeye. It wasn't the best, but it was fun.
All right.
Speaking of tucked, it's not on the list, but we had a casting for Ironheart this week.
Oh, okay.
Drag queen Shea Coulee got cast in Ironheart. So there's the
I
tuck
see.
reference.
Okay. Well
Yeah.
done.
Oh my god.
It's called tucking, Sean. I'm a big Shea
Tyler,
Coulee. I'm a big
please.
Shea Coulee fan though, so
So
excited
you
to see.
you watch it, right?
I watch a lot of Drag Race, dude. Yeah. So Shea Coulee has some of the best runways, specifically like referencing like African culture and Black Panther and stuff. So seeing them in a fucking Marvel show, it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Tyler, you're gonna get us all in trouble, and you must.
No, it's literally called tucking, Sean.
Okay. Kefis says Hawkeye was the best. I don't know, man. I think Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel has that title right now.
It's good.
Yeah. The last episode's almost out, Sean.
No. Why are you behind? I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they put it out.
Oh,
Gotta,
my bad.
you got to catch up.
Matt just outed me. I mooch off Matt's Paramount Plus, and I made a whole user just to not screw up Matt's recommendations because I just watch a lot of Drag Race and Star Trek. So
Fair enough. I think that's about all that there is to watch on Paramount Plus, right?
South Park.
For
now,
I watched the Halo show, and that was like the worst, best series I've watched. Like it sucked, but I had fun. And it's canceled, so there you go. All right. So obviously this week was insane for DC across the board, and there are so many bad things. But we did get confirmation in all this madness. There was time to confirm Joker 2
More
officially,
madness.
officially. And Tyler, since I sucked apparently at pronouncing the title, why don't you go ahead and pronounce it?
Sure, hold on. I need to put in my French. I
Boo,
want to
just
say
give it a
it's
shot.
folie à deux.
Folie à deux.
I don't know how does.
That didn't sound any better or different than what
No,
I
I didn't.
said.
I didn't say I can do it.
So then what the hell are you shitting on me for? Tyler.
Okay, so it's folie à deux, according to the internet.
Well,
So
that
we were actually not too far off, either of us. So.
thank you.
This is hype, dude. I'm so excited. The fact that it looks like it's being teased as a musical is
Oh, trust me, I'm gonna break this one down.
so good. So excited. And Lady Gaga, like, awesome, right? I don't know that I've seen her acting skills. I know she's done stuff on like American Horror Story. That's the extent that I know of. And her music with
You don't know her for her 2 Oscar-nominated performances. You know her for
is she really?
Yeah, for Star is Born and in most recently the Gucci movie, the House of Gucci.
Haven't seen it. Gonna have to.
House of Gucci wasn't that good. I think she was the best part of it.
Okay.
Was she even nominated for an Oscar for it? I don't even know.
So
Not speaks to her talent.
they put out a very small teaser. It's 18 seconds long on Twitter. Just putting up the names of the actors and these like little moving images of them in shadow, cast in shadow. It very much kind of accents the sort of musical quality of it. I was getting that vibe, the romancy quality of it. It's pretty clear what they're going for with this one. Tyler, you wanted to break it down.
Specifically, yeah, specifically they're using the song "Cheek to Cheek" from the Fred Astaire film Top Hat.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny because Gaga herself had an album with Tony Bennett called Cheek to Cheek,
Yep.
which they do that song.
Good.
So this is literally referencing and using audio from early Hollywood musicals, which is like one of my favorite things. You know, like if this is like a play on like a more modern play on, you know, like The Great Ziegfeld or Footlight Parade, which I threw the posters on the stream too because I think early Hollywood movie posters are gorgeous. And if they do like an homage to that too with a movie poster, that'd be so freaking good. But this is a mixture of a comic book movie, Lady Gaga, in an early Hollywood film, which is probably the most meme movie that was ever conceived. So I am beyond hyped for this. I'm a big monster. I don't think they're really called that anymore, but I'm a big Gaga fan. The whole premise too. So in the silhouette, Lady Gaga's character gets a little heart under her eye. So like we can assume, even though it's not confirmed verbatim, she's playing Harley.
Yeah.
That whole storyline of bad guy, good girl, and that being a musical, like this is literally the framework for like a early Hollywood musical too. It's like all in one setting too. It's probably going to be all in Arkham. There'll probably be huge dance numbers, crazy sets. Oh man, I am wildly excited for this.
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. I think we're gonna see Joker kind of unravel Harley, as she is, you know, because she's a licensed therapist in the comics. And in her origin in the animated series, and she's a genius, right? So I think he's going to work her over during their therapy, and the musical aspect will actually be us sort of watching them sharing psychosis, which is what folie à deux means. And it will have this like dream-like Hollywood musical quality to it, as Tyler pointed out, as these two are falling in love and out of their minds with each other, and then they'll go on a murder spree. My question is, can this movie really end? This movie cannot end with them together, right? Like, this movie has to end badly.
Tragedy?
Yeah.
No, I kind of. So I actually don't think that she's gonna be a therapist. I know that that's like typically the story, but I feel like based on how the last movie left off, I think in all of this madness that has been going on, they're gonna find each other, and they're gonna both be like these delusional people exploring the madness that now is Gotham, and because I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't want it to just be contained to Arkham. I think you can still do a lot of stuff there, but I would much rather them be exploring this new post Joker destructive Gotham as two, mentally ill people.
Well, it's worth pointing out that what Tyler said is being reported, that the movie does take place largely in Arkham.
Okay.
And remember that Joker did get locked up at the end, so they have to resolve that in some form or fashion. So I think it's a safe bet that one of the major beats will be them leaving Arkham and causing chaos together.
Gotcha.
I would imagine.
The premise is such a weird premise. Like, it's not mainstream, the hook of this movie. It seems very specific. This seems like specifically something that the creators involved would want to do, really, more than like a mainstream Joker movie. And even like the idea of like the psychosis being translated through musical kind of makes sense. Like, oh, when there's a crazy part happening, like we got hints of it in the first Joker, when he would start dancing around, or that I think of that scene where he, like, right after he shoots the guy for the first time, and he's in that like bathroom stall just dancing, and there's like this ethereal music playing in the background.
That award-winning soundtrack, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. Just like the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad as well. I actually know that one for makeup, actually, but
I'm surprised that they're not going to be. You think like the music's going to be all Fall Out Boy stuff?
Yo, that album though, fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, they had an album called that. Yeah, I got it. That's my emo cred. Fall Out Boy is a no for me. I wasn't really.
Damn, really?
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just I didn't really. I must have missed the boat at some point.
Sugar never got down.
I got into that. That album's fine. Before and after, I just lost it.
You got to check this album out.
I think I was pissed that Dance Dance didn't record the music video at my school, which we were in the running for.
For real? Oh, you went to one of those
school.
schools.
Yeah, I went to a nearby school.
Yo, Sean's like, he came from the city schools.
I went to a prep school.
Our schools had fucking metal detectors, and your school was in that dumbass MTV show with remember the show you told me about? That
oh yeah, Made. Yeah. My friend was on it. Yeah.
And then they almost chose your school for the freaking.
We had a full-fledged theater in my school with like a catwalk,
unbelievable,
lighting. Yeah. That thanks Catholicism.
Shout out to metal detectors.
Was it a
It was a Jesuit prep school. So a Jesuit prep school in New York. Narrow that one down, guys. Gives you like two options, really. But
my favorite song off the album, probably "The Shipped Gold Standard." That was for Catherine who asked. But yeah, I was down on this movie announcement when it was first made, but the more that I've thought about it, the more I've gotten excited. So 2024.
I'm just like imagining a small room with Harley interviewing Joker, and then like the set just opens up like classic Hollywood, and it becomes this giant big piece with like can dancers and
Multi-level
my
stage in the back.
yeah, exactly. Just
I see
something
it.
like almost cheesy. Like, do you ever watch The Artist? Which people have been shitting on that on on the internet recently for winning Best Picture that year. But The Artist was a play on silent film where they had musical numbers and stuff too. Is that Gerard Depardieu? Was he the main actor of that? Great movie, honestly. This is yeah, I'm excited for this. It was Jean Dujardin. All right, never mind.
Okay.
I know
don't
like
where you're
one
taking us.
French actor's name, but
Thank you
throw
for
that out
that.
there. Yeah.
That is as positive as we're likely to be about DC on this show today. That's
Yeah,
it.
I wanted to get it out of the way.
And I feel like this feels separate from everything else. Is the other thing is like this is made in isolation compared to the other stuff that's been announced.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine that the same week that Batgirl gets canceled, which we're about to talk about, they make an announcement. They officially confirm Joker 2.
I think that
A
was on
movie-
purpose.
I
big
don't
joke.
think it was on purpose.
a big joke.
It feels like a joke.
Oh no, I think it is on purpose.
You do?
Yeah.
And not- on purpose in the sense that they had a earnings call.
Yeah.
So you put it out the same week because this is good news right before that, which then is bad. Put the good news out early in the week because the bad news comes at the end of the week.
Sure.
It's interesting that you think that they think that all of that news is bad. We
Well,
got-
Thursday's earnings call is a normal day. I don't think they knew that would be as bad as it was, and like their stock. Well, we'll talk about it because
Yeah.
there's stocks involved, and yeah,
Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna get into it. So this is DC's worst week ever. Ever. And we have talked about some bad DC weeks on this show, but none have been worse since we've started doing this show than this one. Because we learned that Batgirl, a movie that is finished, a movie that is done, is canceled. Kaput, not coming out, no way to resolve it, not salvageable, done.
Womp womp.
90 to $100 million was the cost of the movie. Directed by Bilal Fallah and Adil El Arabi, who, by the way, directed and maybe wrote Miss Marvel. So they went from Miss Marvel, which was a success, everybody loved, to a month later, Batgirl, which was maybe more anticipated than anything else DC has going on. Canceled. Gone.
It's wild considering how close they were to being done, and we know that they've been flip-flopping between. Well, we know there was okay, it's not ready for the big screen, so we're gonna bring it down to HBO, and like they were still committed to these things, and it being right at the finish line, they like stuck their foot out, and that shit just tumbled, and that I think was the first part of all of it, of just why, like the questioning came, and it's like, well, why? Just you've committed to it already, just do it. But money aside, like you spent it, right? That is unreturnable.
Come on, Marco. You're the finance guy, brother. You know about this. So that is the question on everyone's mind. The why, right? And that is what has shaken the internet. Because the Warner Brothers Discovery stuff has been all over the map. When they first merged, we talked about how scary it was that now Discovery, that is known for non-scripted content like 90 Day Fiancé and Shark Week, is now in charge of heavily scripted content like DC comics and films. And we weren't sure what the fallout would be. And it only took until Q2 earnings call of 2022 for us to find out exactly how far Warner Brothers Discovery is willing to go. Now, there are some numbers you need to know before we can have this conversation. And here they are. The first one is that David Zaslav, who is the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, which is the combined organization of Warner Brothers and Discovery. Mind you, Warner was absorbed, right? It's a merger. But what they absorbed was $55 billion of debt. B. Big. Bad.
Big ol'. Well, depends how they delineate the debt, but
55 billion.
not great.
Big number. And they want to clear $3 billion in debt over the next 3 years, I believe it is. So those are important numbers as we have these conversations here. Batgirl is the first to fall of many. They hit Scoob, which people were pissed about.
The Paul Dini written Scoob.
The Paul
Zoinks.
Dini written Scoob.
Yeah, it was a Scoob holiday one. Scoob is still exists. You can still watch Scoob, the most recent movie.
Okay, yeah. They hit a lot of other stuff too. They hit scripted content on TBS and TNT. Stuff that was gonna air is now canceled. Like it was on the docket to air, scheduled, gone. Episodes were in the can. All they needed to do was push them out, and they're gone.
I think the real worrying part is the films they got rid of off HBO Max. Specifically, I think it was Zemeckis' Witches or Twitches or whatever. It wasn't a good movie. It starred like Anne Hathaway or something, but like they just got rid of it, and they can't
What do you mean?
ever.
Like they took it off?
They took off about half a dozen films from HBO Max that were exclusive to HBO Max for these write-offs, and to write them off, you can then never profit off of that movie again, which means they will never release these movies again. So this is lost media at this point. For 6 pretty big budget films that came out within the last year and a half that we'll never see again outside of pirating. Like, that's wild to me. They can't release it on home DVD. They cannot profit off of that movie anymore to get it as a tax write-off.
And that is a piece of the Batgirl situation that people don't know. And that's what we're here to talk about. So first of all, 90 million is what Batgirl costs to make, okay? But that is not the total cost of a movie. The total cost of a movie is almost always double whatever it costs to actually film it and pay everybody and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Promotion, everything that comes after, getting it out to people, all that stuff, it's typically double. So without the movie coming out, they've already spent 90. To get it out, it would cost them about another 90. And apparently, the brass at Warner Brothers Discovery did not believe that Batgirl was up to the quality that they want. Now, this is going to sound crazy, and I could not find the episode, but I am very sure that I said I thought this movie would never come out because it was not filmed for a theatrical release.
I remember this. I think I remember this.
I'm so glad you do.
That smells familiar. Yeah.
I had a feeling that this would happen. I said that it was a damn fucking shame that Batgirl was made as an HBO Max movie. It's way too expensive. $90 million for a movie that is going to a streaming service. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And apparently, at Warner Brothers Discovery, they came and saw the mess that they inherited, and they said, we cannot do this. So they're saving $20 million by not releasing Batgirl at all, and then they get the ability to write it off. The $90 million is a write-down that applies as long as they don't monetize it in any way. So they can't sell it to another studio. They can't profit off of it at all, which means it will literally never come out. We will never see it. Unless they Deadpool it and someone accidentally leaks it.
There's the meme that was going around on Twitter, like some guy sticking a USB up his butt to sneak it out of Warner.
I'm taught that at work. Yeah.
So, all right. So you're gonna write off $90 million. That is less than a percentage of $1 billion, though.
Mm-hmm. But they've cleared $829 million.
Wow.
Off write-downs for canceled and scrapped content.
That's not bad.
And a lot of the way that they've laid off 70% of the HBO Max workers. We've talked on this show a lot about the rivalry between HBO and HBO Max. And at the center of that was Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League was the bridge too far for the HBO people because of how expensive it was and how damaged their relationship already was with Zack Snyder.
What do you mean Zack Snyder's Justice League? I don't know if that doesn't exist.
Dude, I was rolling when you sent me that tweet. For context, someone was a filmmaker was doing an
Leslie Iwerks, who did the documentary series about Disney parks for Disney Plus. Very good series.
Was interviewing an executive at Warner and asked them if they could use, I believe it was footage from the Justice League film, and they were told there's only one Justice League movie. And again, it's HBO. HBO Max is donezo. It's done.
Holy shit.
Done. The experiment failed. And I said this was going to be a problem when the pandemic started, that they were putting out all those movies on HBO Max day and date. Those movies died.
That's right.
They died.
And
they killed.
And now, yeah.
They killed their entire 2020 slate of films by just throwing them on HBO Max. Where Marvel had Black Widow was a sacrifice. We all know that, and that's very sad.
Yeah, that's a victim of COVID, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, though, did numbers. What was it? Pocahontas, which they put on Disney Plus for $30.
Mulan,
How many people
Mulan.
paid that damn $30?
A
lot.
I think I did actually.
A lot of people paid
Yeah?
that $30.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot that came out.
Whereas I stayed my ass
Jungle
home.
Cruise as well. Yeah.
I stayed my ass home and I watched Mortal Kombat, The Matrix, because I got COVID, all kinds of movies. Everyone did that.
Mm-hmm.
Big mistake.
It's interesting because I definitely remember those conversations, and in retrospect, like if this is the fallout, right, of not being patient, not sitting on those films, then I don't like saying it, Sean. It tastes bad coming out of my
Go
mouth.
ahead. Go ahead.
Tastes bad. I don't like. Hold on. Just gotta.
Yeah. Clean it out. Swish it. Yep. Okay.
Ugh.
You should have spit it out. You just.
Sean,
swallowed
you're
it
right.
now.
No. Thank you, bud.
Ugh.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Now,
But so
go ahead.
One thing is like the other thing that they announced too is like that whole, like when the Batman came out in theaters, 45 days later came out on HBO Max. Now they have announced that is not going away for sure, but the movies that are a part of that kind of 45 day out on HBO Max thing is going to be done on a case by case basis.
Yeah, they were very cagey in the way that they discussed that. There is almost assuredly going to be a longer exclusivity window for theaters. Zaslav talked a lot during the earnings call about the fact that they want to invest in the theater experience, that they believe that the only way to monetize films for the cost that that's required to make them is by putting them out in theaters. I do not understand how the people that ran HBO or Warner before didn't think about that. I don't get it. The pandemic was crazy, but that move was nuts. Nuts.
They're not Disney that has their pockets in so many other different types of media where they can bankroll that, similar to like an Apple TV Plus. Like, they don't make money off the Apple TV Plus stuff. The production value is fantastic on it. But because Apple gets their money elsewhere, they can take a hit on that. Like, Warner Brothers is exclusively film and TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
again,
what kind of sucks though is like HBO Max was like, in terms of the consumer, becoming one of the best buys.
top two.
Yeah.
Top two.
I think it was doing better than Netflix, honestly.
Not from a money standpoint, right? But like
No, I'm talking from like just
content.
my own content experience. Like, they had the best movies on there. It was organized well. The app was pretty good.
That and Disney Plus, those are the best streaming services for my money.
Yeah, the things that I tune into the most right now. The only reason I'm back on Netflix is because I need to watch Stranger Things and Sandman came out. Otherwise, I don't use the app. Hulu I use more than anything else, I think.
Owned by Disney. Yep.
Exactly.
Well, let's refocus. Let's refocus on Batgirl. First of all, Bleeding Cool is reporting, and it's a rumor, that WB Discovery is giving bonuses to the talent involved in Batgirl for the lack of its release. So hopefully a little money will go into their pockets as compensation for this. Obviously, they're all devastated. It really sucks. I do want to read a couple of their comments. So the directors, they said, we are saddened and shocked by the news. We still can't believe it. As directors, it is critical that our work be shown to audiences. And while the film was far from finished, we wish that fans all over the world would have had the opportunity to see and embrace the final films themselves. Maybe one day they will, inshallah. Our amazing cast and crew did a tremendous job and worked so hard to bring Batgirl to life. We are forever grateful to have been a part of that team. It was a dream to work with such fantastic actors like Michael Keaton, J.K. Simmons, Brendan Fraser, Jacob Scipio, Corey Johnson, Rebecca Front, and especially the great Leslie Grace, who portrayed Batgirl with so much passion, dedication, and humanity. In any case, as huge fans of Batman since we were little kids, it was a privilege and an honor to have been a part of the DCEU, even if it was for a brief moment. Batgirl for life.
It's a shame.
Think about all those actors that we just talked about. Think about all the people behind the scenes. And let me say this. They all got paid. Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
They all got paid. That's half of the job, right? Half of it is we want to make money. You know, if you're creative, you want to make money, you don't do it for free. The other half is the passion. It's the work. It's what you want to do. It's your lifeblood. At some point, you did it for free. Because that's how much it means to you.
I say there's a third point, too.
Are you going to let me finish what the fuck I'm saying, Tyler?
I don't know. I didn't take my ADHD meds today.
Go ahead.
The third point I would say is exposure, too. Like, I know creative is an exposure, but, like, leading this film as Leslie Grace would have done so much more than just a little bonus in her pocket.
Yeah.
For a career.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser, who is sort of making a comeback. Could have been great for him. Well, no, he actually has another movie coming out called The Whale, where he is overweight in it, too, which is wild, the transformation he did for that. So hopefully that's like the Oscar bait that he can. I'm a big Brendan Fraser mark, so I want to see his comeback. But this could have been another stepping stone in it, but now we'll never see Firefly. Oh, no.
Big shame. But the directors actually did get an email from one Kevin Feige, who reached out and he said, "My friends, I had to reach out and let you know we are all thinking about you both Because of the wonderful news about the wedding, congrats, and the disappointing news about Batgirl. Very proud of you guys for all the amazing work you do, and particularly Miss Marvel, of course. Can't wait to see what is next for you. Hope to see you soon. First of all, why did they release his email to the public on Instagram?
Come on, you know it.
Yeah,
You
we
know
don't need to
why.
know that Kevin Feige still has the sent from iPhone signature. Did this reek of humble brag to you? Like in my mind, it's like Kevin Feige, like, oh man, I'm so sorry about that, wiping tears away with money. You know, this felt like
Hey.
a fuck you to DC more than
You
an
know-
actual sorry to the directors.
You know what I got out of it? Hey, kids, you're going to land on your feet. You got a job here.
Yes.
That's what I got out of it.
That's also, yep, exactly.
I didn't get
And
anything that positive out of it.
Really?
I think there was an era of just like, hey, that's a shame, but don't worry, right? And I very much got that. And considering they did Miss Marvel already, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying these guys are getting elevated, dude. Like he's picking people from I forgot what we were talking about maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, but they're picking people from the shows to be the next the helm, the next phases. It has to be.
These guys are also not making a stink about it, but they're being vocal about their dissatisfaction with
Yeah.
the result. Like Leslie Grace, one statement, she's being a little more graceful about it. Sorry, pun intended.
Wow.
But these guys, I think they realize the shit situation they're in, and they're making a play on social media for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Interesting gamble. We'll see how it works out. But yeah.
The public is on their side.
Yes. Yep.
Very much so.
And I think now is a great time to do what they're doing. Think about the bridges that Warner Brothers Discovery has burned by doing this, you know? Directors all see this. Actors all see this. And what sucks is that and look, I'm not here to defend, not fully, Warner Brothers Discovery. You might hear an air of that. I'm not going to lie. But it sucks that they inherited so much shit and that the sins of the past are now plaguing everything that's happening now. If Batgirl was simply made to be a theatrical film release, we would not be having this conversation. And I gotta say, I hate to be the one to say this, but I have to. I have a feeling the movie was not good.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it needed significant reshoots, especially to get it to theatrical quality, because it was never, ever, ever going to come out on HBO Max.
What I was seeing was that it was testing in the 60s, which is where it tested, the Pennywise movie. And I remember when that was being made, there were significant reshoots or re-editing because it was confusing to audiences. But eventually that came out. But also that was made to be a theatrical release. You know, there was made to be two movies, so there was a little more invested in that, I feel. But it wasn't testing great, apparently.
Right. And we saw they killed Wonder Twins. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The Wonder Twins,
Man, I was hyped for that too.
another HBO Max movie that they crushed. And we said, well, gosh, you know, that's pretty nuts. They're already in pre-production. They don't care. What I read is that they tried to save Batgirl, that they tried to figure out a way to make it work, but they couldn't do it without spending significantly more money, and they just couldn't justify it. I get that.
I was also reading that it was a little confusing with the Michael Keaton Batman stuff in this.
Well,
Oh, you got the plan?
Yeah,
All right, got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to read Leslie Grace's comments because of everyone I feel worst for her.
Sure.
Leslie Grace, you know, she is Batgirl for us right now. She's well, I guess she's not the first live action Batgirl, but first film. Oh, no, not even.
No.
The
Yeah,
second
yeah.
film Batgirl.
Don't do some Alicia Silverstone erasure there.
Whatever.
Come on.
But you know, when we saw her in the Burnside costume, that was a moment, and I think we all rallied around her and embraced her, and she really, you know, has cared, it seems, about playing this role. And so here's what she had to say. Querida familia, on the heels of the recent news about our movie Batgirl, I am proud of the love, hard work, and intention all of our incredible cast and tireless crew put into this film. over 7 months in Scotland. I feel blessed to have worked among absolute greats and forged relationships for a lifetime in the process. To every Batgirl fan, thank you for the love and belief, allowing me to take the cape and become, as Babs said best, my own damn hero. Hashtag Batgirl for life.
Shame.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how excited she was to play this, right? Like you're here portraying a great character. You're coming in, especially at like a start of your career. She was in the Heights, phenomenal. Like you're this is your next big stride, to Tyler's earlier point, and the rug just gets pulled from under you, and that can never feel good.
Yeah. Walter Hamada, who is the president of DC Films,
His name was Gunther Hamada.
wow, is looking to jump ship
Oh damn!
after Batgirl being canceled. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, Hamada, is a holdover from, a prior era. And I think what he realizes is that he has no control. You're the president, but Zaslav is slicing through everything that you've tried to build. So he's looking to head out. And as Tyler was alluding to, the Michael Keaton of it all. And I think this is a really interesting wrinkle as well. So it looks like Michael Keaton's role in the DCFU, which it really is the FU this week, right?
Sean, before we get to this, there's another Hamada piece that I don't know if you saw.
Go.
Ray Fisher tweeted about it.
Oh.
Ray Fisher said, Walter Hamada feigning outrage and pretending to quit a job he knows he's being replaced at is quite a vibe. Yo, he went off on Hamada, saying like he never really cared in the first place. Yo, Ray Fisher is like, yo, I'm burning all the Warner Brothers bridges. I don't give a shit.
The old Warner.
Yeah.
So it looked as though Keaton's role was going to be akin to like a Nick Fury, where in the sense of he was going to pop up in a lot of different places and have more of a overarching role rather than in the trenches superhero role. And I don't think that's going to be happening anymore, at least not in the way it was planned. So he had a major role in Batgirl. And as we more recently kind of figured, he was going to be in Aquaman 2. Apparently, remember last week we talked about the Ben Affleck reshoots?
Mm-hmm.
That was actually to replace Michael Keaton in Aquaman.
Oh shit!
Because test screenings, the audiences found that his appearance was confusing. And it was unclear how he was in the film at all. Because it doesn't make any sense. Aquaman 2 now releases before The Flash.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aquaman 2's release date is March 17th. The Flash comes out on June 27th, or June 23rd, rather. So if you see Aquaman before you see Flash, which is the way we're going to see it, which, by the way, they confirmed that Flash will definitely be coming out during the earnings call. But if you watch it that way, you would see Michael Keaton in Aquaman before it's established that he's in the DCFU at all. So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And with Batgirl gone now, anyways, they're just taking him out. So we won't see him until Flash. And what his role will be after that, we have no idea.
That's some backwards ass shit. And how much money do you think you would have saved by pushing Ezra Miller out? Because I can only imagine they gotta cover up shit. They gotta follow them around the world with their cult or whatever the fuck's going on.
You think that would save money?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if you just like separate from all that shit, you don't have to deal with it.
You'd be losing all the money that you put out into it already. The whole point is like the movie's already made. We need to recoup that by releasing it.
Are you going to recoup it with a crazy ass person being the lead role.
Apparently.
Wasn't I saying this shit a month ago, Marco, when you were disagreeing with me?
About putting Flash out?
Yeah.
Thought we're on the same page and it'll still come out.
I don't think it should come out. I don't see how they can put it out with all this bad news. By the way, this very week there was more news.
That's right. Oh,
I didn't put an Ezra watch slide. Damn it.
Sorry. Yeah, the same week that they confirmed that Flash is coming out, we heard. So I have it. I have it right here. There's a report from the Insider. It's titled Ezra Miller's Unraveling. Friends concerned as the Flash actor travels the U.S. in body armor and faces claims of running a cult in Iceland. And I know I said that wrong. I like to say Iceland. Excuse me. So they are facing allegations of grooming in the article. We've talked at length already about that. But there is a specific woman who is from Iceland, who was 18 at the time, that spoke to Insider about the relationship that they had. And so this is what the woman said. At one moment, they would look me in the eye and be like, I love you, and be this really nice, beautiful person. And the next minute, they would tell me that I was fucking disgusting. There was a lot of psychological abuse. Now, this is where it gets weirder. The woman claimed Miller worshipped her, quote, perfect womb by talking to it, looking at it, and hugging it. And that they were interested in her breeding capabilities.
Oh, no.
She claimed they encouraged her to cut off her friends and family. This is the Flash.
Ezra's a breeder?
Apparently he has a cult in Iceland.
Holy shit.
With guns and children. Remember the kids with bullets?
Yeah, that's right. The young kid, like babies,
the baby,
almost, right? Yeah, that's
the bullet babies.
Sequel to Muppet Babies?
Yes. This is what we're dealing with. Batgirl can't come out. But that menace is going to receive a big check.
Cha-ching.
A big check to fund the cult. To fund the bullet babies. To fund the run across the fucking world. Okay? To harass and assault and do whatever else. WB Discovery. Warner Brothers better discover what the fuck to do about Superman. Yeah. Discover that. Discover the location of Ezra Miller. Discover that.
Killmonger said breeding capabilities like Pokemon with 31 IVs. I can't wait. Once Flash is done and nobody wants to make movies with Ezra anymore, but there will be one small indie movie that will make a movie with him and Jared Leto. It's going to be great. I can't wait for that one.
Oh, no.
And James Franco.
You mean what is you see James Franco just got cast recently?
Yeah, that's why I said his name. He's playing Fidel Castro.
Yes, that's right.
Which
I was very tempted to start the show talking about that because I happened to read an article before we went live and I got really pissed. But yeah, that's a fucking travesty in and of itself. But yeah, this is an insane mess. It's an absolute mess. This is all rough, and it gets worse. A lot of the stuff that we're anticipating from HBO Max will not come out. It's not happening.
Blue Beetle. Is Blue Beetle that was always going to be released in theaters, right?
No, Blue Beetle was originally a HBO Max film and they found a way to convert it. So it's saved.
Okay.
But it was converted in production rather than post-production. Mm-hmm. So the budget kind of went up. Okay, so they're probably safe. Okay. Ugh. Those Blue Beetle fans been through enough.
It sounds like, if you read what was said, and I think most people haven't, and I encourage you to read for yourself, because I do think the words that Zaslav and the other executives use are important. It sounds like this has more to do with quality control and what they can save financially than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have pointed out, and they're right, that look, Batgirl, woman-led film. We're not getting Supergirl.
That's right.
Rolling Stone said that the Supergirl movie starring Sasha Calle is not going to happen. She's in Flash. But
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But
Wow.
the movie, her spin-off film, is not happening, apparently. I'm hesitant to jump on that particular sexist bandwagon, that this is driven by sexism.
Do you see the slide I have up right now on the stream, Sean? I have their earnings call, unique and complimentary slide for the types of audiences that HBO Max and Discovery Plus have out. Did you know women don't like scripted TV?
I'll say for this one, because this was the one that I was floating around Twitter that I had issue with, just because this is the kind of data that gets compiled that you get from your subscription base, and then you make assumptions off of that. This is the shit I do for work, in the sense that you see what the audience is, and therefore you try to replicate those audiences, regardless of whether or not the intention is to say that the just because there's a male skew, it just means the population there is larger, not necessarily that there's the women will not like scripted shows.
Yeah, people took this and ran with it.
Yeah.
But
remember that time when women hated Sex in the City and it was not watched?
I thought you were the only one who watched it.
Hey, I watched And Just Like That too. So, and I've seen both movies. So
is that on the chopping block, or is that an HBO show?
That's an HBO Max.
Yeah.
Oh no! I think that'll probably be safe, if anything. But it's not one of the franchises on here. I will say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Bottom
Okay,
one of the
it's
last.
probably safe then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right up there with
That's-
Big Bang Theory and Friends. Eesh.
Yo, I like how they call the 90 Day Fiance universe.
Hey man,
That had me in stitches. That's
I need
funny.
a Soulja Boy solo film. That's a deep cut. I don't even know. You can cancel a Baby Girl Lisa film. I'm not okay with that. That's fine. I also watched a lot of 90 Day Fiance.
Evidently,
Yeah.
one of your big
female skew my ass.
I think to your point though, Sean, the decision was made more so around the films that were specific to HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And the unfortunate part was that they were the female led movies were relegated to those, and those are the ones that they went for.
Yeah, I do think that sucks. And we'll never know if Batgirl was up to snuff from a quality standpoint. It's weird that Blue Beetle would get the theatrical bump and Batgirl wouldn't. But again, there's so much happening behind the scenes that we don't know. And I'm not comfortable just saying it's sexism.
It's a Hispanic Blue Beetle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jaime Reyes. Yeah. Marco, from a marketing standpoint, I have a question. So if you're saying that HBO Max is more male skewed, is the objective then to double down into that male skew and make things specifically for it, or try to make up the lost skew that would be the female end?
It becomes it's cheaper to double down into the population that you already have. So you try to find lookalikes, audiences that are specifically that look like the audience that you have, and that is more
Pigeonhole
effective
yourself essentially, because
Exactly,
in the short term it's more
cost effective.
cost effective. I fucking hate cost effective shit, because it never thinks long term, in my opinion.
And that's the harm, right? The harm is very much that you're exactly what you said. You put yourself into a pigeonhole, and then that audience starts to dry up, and then people are like, well, how come there's no more people to subscribing? Well, it's because you're scraping the bottom of the barrel of the population that you're trying to look for.
Because all these decisions are just to hype up the next earnings call. I feel like there's no long-term investment in audiences, because the only thing that matters is the next business call and money in the immediate, which I think is just a problem, especially when you have when it becomes the creative side of business, because the creative side is the one that always loses. And because of that, minority and female led creativity is then lost.
Sure.
It's also worth pointing out that Zaslav basically cut through the Warner executive side, and that almost all of the appointments in those executive positions have been,
Oh
older
no.
white men. I
Oh,
believe
okay.
they brought on Alan Horn. I
Are
want to say,
are Yakko, Wacko, and Dot still safe? Do they still have their jobs?
yeah, they brought on Alan Horn.
They're still in the water tower, bro. They're put away.
They brought on Alan Horn, who is known for many things. One of those is being an executive at Disney during the rise of Marvel.
Yes. Okay.
He also oversaw the Nolan trilogy, so they brought him in as an advisor, touting that. I actually think Alan Horn was a part of the cabal that almost drove Kevin Feige away from Marvel. So whatever.
The thing is, they need to find their Feige for DC specifically. They got a whole bunch of other fucking shit going on across the board, Warner wise. But in terms of the DC stuff, they need a Feige. But how do you find that? It's not a job. It's not like a title you can give someone. Like Resident Feige is not a thing. Like it's such a specific role that grew somewhat organically throughout the history of the MCU. Like, how do you artificially recreate that? I don't know if you can.
I don't think you can, and I think if in order to do that, you need to be thinking that long term, and they don't care for that long term, right? That is a what is it, the 10-year plan that they're trying to roll out. I didn't dig into the specifics of it, but that is the kind of, I would even say like a 15-year plan is the thing that you need to be thinking about in order to find somebody. If you're trying to find somebody who says, yeah, I have a cool idea for a few movies, that's not going to do anything. You gotta have a structure and then holistically look at the long term, and that's what allows you to then do to Silv's point in chat, like make more female stuff to get female viewers. Not necessarily that you'll have an influx of that audience, but in order to start including those films, you need to have a basis in the short term to then extend that out into the long term, and you need to have somebody thinking about that. And Warner doesn't seem to be thinking like that. They're thinking, what is the next earning call?
Yeah. And look where Marvel is right now. A lot of female-led media. She-Hulk's just coming out. Miss Marvel. Yeah, because we made that investment. I mean, tangential evidence, but like, I'm on the dating apps again. Full disclosure there. But like, I see a lot of it. It's like, big fan of Marvel. Like,
Yes.
high school me would have been mind blown if like Marvel was mainstream. Like, I could talk to, I don't know, like a girl. I didn't talk to anyone in high school. Just no one. But like, we could talk about Doctor Strange. But Marvel fucking made that investment, and now they took what was probably, if you were to do the marketing thing, maybe more male skewed in the 90s. Marvel Comics specifically as a brand. And now it's I would say equally skewed.
Yeah,
Or I guess it can't be equally skewed. It's on a skew at that point. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a more general fandom that they've fostered.
I would be interested to look at those numbers, because I can only imagine at most it's probably like a 60-40 split, and that's good. That's like a considerable degree of it's a minimum of degree of separation, and that's a good thing.
I mean, it's also getting into like, oh, there's still a gender binary there that I don't really agree with. But never mind. That's fucking marketing. But
Yeah, whatever.
So there are a lot of big questions that we didn't really get answered throughout this. What does this mean for a lot of the stuff that's been previously announced, or that was heavily rumored but didn't actually have confirmation? So one thing we know is safe, because it was confirmed, is Peacemaker. Peacemaker season 2 is coming. James Gunn confirmed that on social media.
Good.
Here, though, are some question marks. The Green Lantern show that had been announced, that was going to be an anthology kind of series that would have take place in like different eras with different Green Lanterns headlining different pieces of the show. And the Penguin spinoff.
Bye.
The Arkham spinoff.
No, I want that. I want both of those.
I'm sure you'll want it, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about.
I know. No, Marco said Psh on it. Like, oh, I was interested in what a
No.
Penguin
I mean,
series.
I'm saying like that it's gone.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
disposable.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dead penguin in the water.
Yeah, because they're saying that there will be a cap of a $30 million budget
Ooh.
for any HBO Max streaming exclusives.
That's not a budget. Like that's not a real workable budget.
But they don't want.
I guess so. Yeah, they're
they don't
purposely
want
hamstringing them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You got to constrain in order to profit.
Do we know the status of Harley, the animated show? Because I know they did announce multiple cuts in the animation department.
They sure did. I don't know. I don't have anything on that.
Okay, because maybe they don't want to do it right when Harley season 3 comes out the same week. But yeah, I mean, looking a little iffy for Fiona and Cake, the Adventure Time spinoff too. So that's just another thing that kind of pissed me off about this. But
What about the film side? What about the Bad Robot, Michael B. Jordan, Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman projects that have all been, rumored, announced, talked about a little bit here or there? What about those projects? Because for franchises, they specifically listed Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman as individual franchises. But 2 out of the 3 are doing okay. Well, one's doing amazing, Batman. One's existing, Wonder Woman, and the other doesn't exist at all in Superman. So what about these projects? Do they want to continue with these creatives?
I definitely think that because the Bad Robot thing was Black Superman, and I don't think that's coming out. Like, I think
you want to confuse
this is-
audiences.
Yeah, I think you're gonna if we're still in the mix with the Flash stuff, I don't think you're gonna want to deviate from what's going on there to have a new reboot like that. I think that's getting axed.
I'm with you. New Gods was axed. I read that somewhere.
Oh, Tom
Yeah, I read that a
King.
couple months ago. Yeah.
My boy Tom King.
I agree with you. I don't think that. First of all, I was never that excited about a Bad Robot anything, anyways.
Wow. Okay.
I like Bad Robot. I just don't like J.J. Abrams as a director. And I think that J.J. Abrams likes to start stuff and not finish stuff. And I don't think that J.J. Abrams has the hand right now.
Yep. Justice League Dark. That's not coming out either.
A true creative, starting stuff and not finishing it. That's why I like J.J. Abrams. It speaks to me.
But I think if you're going to take something positive away from this, and this is what I'm taking away positive, is that if you read what Zaslav is saying, they want to make sure that the DC films that they put out are tentpole films and that they're high quality. In my opinion, when you look back at the DC films that we have seen, by and large, they're not good. When you look at even if you look at the last I thought not Batgirl, sorry, Birds of Prey, I thought that was pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, I do not.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
I think that Suicide Squad 2 is all right. I thought Shazam was bad. I feel like they're not, and then I have no interest in Shazam 2.
No.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like they haven't been on a great track, and I don't think that quality has been the first thing on the mind. The Wonder Woman movies, I think, are really bad.
I think there is only one out here, and I think that the problem they've been dealing with for years at this point is they want their cake. They want to have their cake and eat it too. With taking
They don't
all
even know
the
what flavor of cake they want.
No, they got COVID. They have no taste. It's that they've made all these disparate kind of films. They want to make sure it still ties into everything to keep a continuity, but they want to reboot stuff and they want to add stuff. But maybe this ties in. Maybe this is part of their universe. Who knows?
But some of it's not. Joker's not. The Batman's not.
It's confusing. What they need to do is they need to use Flashpoint as their out. Which is what I've been saying for years. They need
That's what it is.
Well, their out should be reboot the universe flat, like New 52 style for the movie. Like, work on casting your your Trinity right now, and introduce them at the end of that movie.
Dude,
and like, there's your new universe.
We already know what the Trinity is intended.
I know
to
that
be.
I know what it was intended to be. It was supposed to be Shazam, Supergirl,
and Supergirl. Yeah,
and Flash. It was supposed to be Flash.
Batgirl, Supergirl, and Shazam. That's the new Trinity.
Well, that was the new Trinity. I think they're showing that the Warner Discovery is showing what their franchises are these three things, and those three were not that. They've delayed Flashpoint enough. Just recast and do some reshoots.
You're out of your mind.
Pull the Band-Aid off.
You're out of your mind.
Get us a new Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Show it at the end of Flashpoint. Start from there.
Yo, let the villains win in Flashpoint. All right, fuck all of this shit.
I mean, if Barry wins, then Ezra wins. So the villain does win.
That's a fair point. I think that they have been on a bad road for a while. I think that where they were planning to go is a terrible idea. I love Batgirl. I love Supergirl. I love Shazam. That is not a Trinity. That's insane.
It's not the Trinity. It's not the Trinity that gets you on board with people necessarily, right? Everybody knows Batman. Everybody knows Wonder Woman. Everybody knows Superman, right?
They are the Trinity. That's literally what they are.
But that's like a legacy Trinity that needs to have, like, we didn't really have a good Trinity in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, even in Zack Snyder and the original Justice League, or one Justice League, if you're Warner Discovery, there didn't feel to be a real relationship between the Trinity. Like there's groundwork here that's not laid to even make this a legacy Trinity. I feel.
That's fine. I'm just saying those three characters have to be at the forefront of whatever you're doing.
I agree.
There's no way around that.
The three as in Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If Marvel had Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four in 2008, what would the first movie have been? Not Iron Man. There's no reason to focus on three B to C list characters when you have A plus characters available. It's silly. And they have to pivot. They have to pivot. And I think that that's what we're seeing. And it's painful and people don't like it. I wanted to see Batgirl. I don't think it was going to be good. I never thought it was going to be good. But I wanted to see it. And I'm sad for Leslie Grace, and I'm sad for everybody. But I think this is you talk about ripping a Band-Aid off. I think that's what we're seeing now.
Sure, yeah.
And Marco referenced the 10-year plan. Zaslav said there is a 10-year plan in place for DC. They want to get DC to a place where people are talking about it the way that we talk about Marvel. And I think this is the right move, to have a plan, to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And this is what it is. Like, we're locking ourselves into this. This is our strategy. Take it or leave it. I think that's smart. I think if you look at the last 10 years of what DC has been doing, you can see that they were willing to pull the plug at any moment. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
It's no commitment.
Yeah.
On paper, this seems like the right plan. It's what everyone's been saying. Mimic the Marvel method instead of trying to do the reverse Marvel method, where big team movie, then the solo movies afterwards, some of which we didn't even get, like Affleck's Batman. But asking DC to come up with a 10-year plan sounds like asking a high school burnout what their 10-year plan is. It's like, sure, you can ask them that. But will they give you a coherent answer on that with actual execution? Probably not.
But that's the thing that they need to be working on. Like the fact that they've announced that
There
this
needs to
is
be like a
something that-
retreat.
right, and they're thinking. But if they're thinking about it, at the very least, that is a good direction. At the very least, whether or not it's going to get executed well, that's a separate conversation from the fact that, hey, we're thinking about 10 years in the future. This is that is akin to a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, right? That is the kind of thinking that they need, because that's to our earlier point. You need to be thinking down the road to start including these other characters, to start being able to expand out and not have to worry about that next earning call. You're going to be, hey, wait, we're going to stick to this thing regardless of whatever happens in Q3, Q4, Q1 of next year. That's not the issue. The issue is sticking to the thing that committing to and sticking to this long-term strategy. That is the priority for DC at the moment. If they can do that, they will over time ideally be successful.
I agree. Chillmonger in the chat. Well, first of all, he asked, "Are you worried for Static?" I am very worried for Static. I don't think. I think if Batgirl can get chopped, Static can definitely get chopped.
Yeah.
But I think he's right. Isn't canceling Batgirl proof of plan execution? Yes, I think it is.
I feel like it's proof of business plan execution. I think we're talking creatively, I think, when it comes to a 10-year plan for DC. That's what I think of. Creatively, they need a plan. Batgirl seems like a cutting of the fat from a business standpoint.
No,
Because I think, well, if cutting Batgirl is a business side, tax write-off, good, we get the money. And also like, hey, we know Batgirl was going to be a tentpole character. We don't want that anymore. Let's not even introduce her. Then maybe that's the creative side that I agree with, because they need to start refocusing again. But like based on the hiring that Warner has done high up on the business side, like whatever this retreat and planned 10-year thing could be, it's just going to be like a can of tuna fish. Just a whole bunch of white meats doing on their own mental juices. Like I want to see on the creative side some diversity that does not exist elsewhere in the business. If they do decide to, make a 10-year plan.
I agree, but I don't think we have a reason to believe that they won't do that.
There's a quote here that says there will be from Zaslav. There will be a team with a 10-year plan focusing just on DC. It's very similar to the structure that Alan Horn and Bob Iger put together very effectively with Kevin Feige at Disney. He added, "We think we could build a long-term, much stronger, sustainable growth business out of DC, and as a part of that, we're going to focus on quality."
What were you laughing at, Sean?
I'm laughing because Alan Horn was I believe, I guess I could be wrong, a part of the cabal that nearly chased Kevin Feige out. So to say that is just so funny that they brought him on to do this.
What if the way they get their own Kevin Feige is by putting out the money to get Kevin Feige?
We've talked about that before. I can't see a reason why Kevin Feige would ever agree to something like that.
Especially with the messages he's sending to the cast and crew, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
He's like, he basically said, "Come through, we got you."
And that's the thing. None of this happens in a vacuum. The entire industry can see all of this. Yeah. Think about what Christopher Nolan said when they announced that they were going to be dropping all of their films day and date on HBO Max. He said, "I'll never work with Warner again."
Isn't Tenet 2 announced, though?
I have no idea. Think about what Denis Villeneuve said after Dune. He said, "I did not know that this movie was going to be released on streaming. I never would have done it had I known that." They shit on so many directors. And that's bad. Warner Brothers Discovery has an opportunity to win some of those people back and reclaim their name as like an artist-driven studio. We'll see if they go in that direction. I'm not convinced yet.
Me either.
But again, this is all stuff they're dealing with what they were presented, not what they planned.
When you say they, you mean Warner Discovery?
I mean Warner Discovery, the new regime. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll see what their creative plans are. We don't know those. We haven't seen a single drop of it. And it's kind of good that Flash will serve as like all right, this is all over. I almost wish they canceled Blue Beetle. Not because I don't want to see it, but just because I think they need to clean slate it and then do whatever they're going to do in a couple of years. They need to put something out. And I guess that's why they're not canceling everything.
Well, that's why the Joker 2 was a nice announcement earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's something everyone likes outside of all of that. Have fun.
Do you think then that we get a Batman sequel with what's his face? Patterson.
What's his face? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that thing they did pretty well, especially for the budget it had.
I'm surprised there weren't announcements about that with this.
I don't think there's anything to say. I think that movie's probably like a few years out yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
More than, I would say, later than 2024. Probably in the 2025, 2026 range.
My curiosity comes into play where like, oh, did they like it so much that like, oh, is this something they build around? You know, already established at this point.
I think that might be a good direction where if they can incorporate that into the 10-year plan, honestly, a Blue Beetle feels kind of innocuous in terms of like character, a familiarity with the character.
Yep.
Like that feels like, hey, we can throw this sort of at the wall and incorporate it potentially if it does well, but then we're falling back into that whole, if it does well, maybe we'll add it into it, maybe not. And the fact that they made the Joker announcement, I was just thinking, I'm like, what if that does really, really well too? And then the follow-up is, we know that there's already a Joker in the Batman universe. It's obviously not the same one, but like, screw whoever was playing that character and just throw in Joaquin Phoenix here and like, oh, we'll put the two movies that actually did well and then build the universe off that.
I think that's then doing the exact same thing that screwed him over in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to have your cake and eat it too. Yeah.
I think if you're gonna clean slate it, you just gotta wipe it away. Let the Batman be what it is. Let Joker be what it is. Those are successful in their own corners. Fine. But it's tough because Ben Affleck is still around. People like him. Gal Gadot's still around. People like her. Henry Cavill was absent from San Diego Comic-Con. One of the biggest rumors was him making a Superman announcement. He had COVID from what I saw. And so that's why he wasn't present. You do have actors that people want to see. Do you get rid of them? I don't know. All I know is that while this is DC's worst week, it could become the start of something really great. And I hope that's the case.
What's the Dark Knight quote? The Dark Knight quote is the night is always darkest before the dawn or something like that.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all are hopeful motherfuckers.
I'm not. In my head, I'm like, oh, well, Blue Beetle could be like their Spider-Man. Fuck no, that's not going to happen.
The merger of Discovery Plus and HBO Max will begin next summer. The U.S. will be the first to start to see the merger, and then we'll get it in Latin America that same year later on, and then 2024 everywhere else. Everywhere that has HBO Max. So we'll start to see some of these effects take place then. The last thing I wanted to bring up is something that a lot less people are talking about, but it worries me more. DC is no longer DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
They've dropped comics from their social media handles. They dropped comics from their website. It's just DC now. And the DC website is a multimedia website, not particularly focused on comics. It's a general DC multiverse website.
Yeah. That's scary.
That sucks.
I feel like that is indicative of something worse. They're consolidating everything as, okay, this is all lumped under a brand. And we're not going to delineate. We're not going to break things out for whatever. If it has the properties attached to it, that's just where it's going to live. And we're not going to pay attention to the individual aspects of it.
How is that a reach? That's not a reach. DC Comics is what it is.
It's
That's not a
it's
reach at all.
originally stood for Detective Comics. I don't think it stood for that for decades at this point.
Um, it reminds me of WWE. They banned the word wrestling and wrestler. I hope
It's
DC
just WWE is the word.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Although
WWE
unbanned now, we can say wrestler. now.
unbanned
Yeah,
now, but for the last, I don't know, 10 or so years, WWE hasn't stood for anything. It's
It
just
stands for
WWE.
then, now, forever.
Yes.
Wait, you couldn't say wrestler? What would you
Yeah.
call? What would you call them?
Sports
Superstars.
entertainment or
No
superstars.
way.
Yeah.
Holy
What
shit.
they do is sports entertainment, not wrestling.
Wow.
Not anymore though, because Triple H is in charge. Marco, if
Right.
you want to start watching WWE, I would suggest watching now. Honestly.
DC doesn't put out comics, they put out content.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's worrying.
The writers and artists don't draw and write comics, they draw and write content.
Fuck.
Batman
this
is
sounds
not a
familiar
comic book
to-
character, Batman's an entertainment character.
This is familiar to we were just talking about this recently, right? The whole idea of content. What was it? I'm having a big deja vu moment, so I don't know if this actually is something we talked about or not. But weren't we just talking about some other company calling their stuff content?
Yeah, we did. It was Jericho, I think, with the
Oh.
with the
No, that
Oh.
was one thing. It was
The frames?
shit.
Frames,
Yeah, maybe
right.
it was that. Maybe it was that. Yeah.
I hate that word, content. It's all over the place. It's just nonstop. I can't.
Sean, what do we
stand it.
do?
Yeah, we do.
What's our spin? What's our spin?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Well, we talk about content related to entertainment characters that feature in superhero films and book content.
Junkies.
Yep. Yeah.
So what you're alluding to then, Sean, with this whole no comics in the copy text, is a feature where there are no comics?
Ah, man. I think that 55 billion is a big number. And any way that you can stop the bleeding, they'll do. Discovery Plus is not based on scripted material. I almost said content. It's not based on scripted programming. They don't know from that. And I don't think that they give a damn about comics. I don't know if David said a word about comics. I fear greatly for the future of DC Comics. I've been saying it for 2 years. I think they're in big, big trouble.
My optimism is that it's such a small piece of the pie that I hope it gets ignored.
That's what Pete used to say.
Yeah.
And maybe you're right. I hope you're right. I mean, I don't want DC to go away, certainly DC Comics. But I am scared.
That would honestly, if DC were gone, I think it would ruin the comic book industry.
I completely there is
I think that is a huge. You know that meme of like the dominoes, where it's like one big domino and then a little one, or a little reverse that. It's like one little domino and then it's like a big tower that falls down. Yeah, that would be bad, because then I would think that would be Disney's sign to be like, well, I guess it doesn't exist anymore. Or they lean in the opposite direction, which if you're a Marvel head could be good. But I don't think it's a good sign. That's like a major pillar of a whole industry just not being there, and I think the whole tower collapses if that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary stuff. Unfortunately, we're not ending on a super positive note. I do think there's cause to be concerned on the comics end of the spectrum. That's something that may never be relevant. We'll continue to talk about it, of course. On the film side, I totally understand the doom and gloom, 100%. And I'm on board. Rest in peace, Batgirl. Sorry to everyone who lost, the chance to have this moment to shine. But I do think underlying all this bad is an opportunity for Warner Brothers Discovery to right the ship that was never, ever, ever going to be righted while it was only Warner Brothers. I don't think Walter Hamada knew what he was doing. I don't think Jeff Johns knew what he was doing. Frankly, I don't think Zack Snyder knew what he was doing. In terms of presenting a DC that people actually want to watch, I don't think so. And yes, I'm a defender of this of Zack Snyder. I think those movies were cool. They made almost billions of dollars. That's nice. But by and large, I don't think the public wanted that. This is what had to happen. And I'm choosing, maybe foolishly, but I think this conversation justifies what I'm about to say. I'm choosing to believe that the next 5 years of DC on film as a shared universe will be the best we've seen.
Hope so.
Someone clip that.
Please do. I take all bets, Kefis. Marco.
Oh,
I
don't
take
bet
all
no more.
bets.
I don't gamble anymore.
No?
I gambled
Yeah,
too
me
much
neither.
in my life already. So
I think one of my gambles on when we talked about She-Hulk and my D-Man bet, I think just got disproved. They just released the first still
Really?
of Charlie Cox in the yellow and red suit. So
There you go. There you go.
there's a good note to end it on. Daredevil
Yeah.
officially coming back.
More
Let's go.
Daredevil. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Marvel. Showmonger says 5 years starting at Black Adam or 5 years starting at New Superman. I'm comfortable saying 5 years starting from the Flash. How about that? So when the Flash ends, right, when we've seen it, I think that the next 5 years, so 2023 to 2028, I think those will be the best years yet. And I'm a little lucky in that because it at least includes Joker 2 and probably the Batman 2, which I anticipate will be quite good. And then who knows what else? So remains to be seen. Let us know your thoughts. I know that what I have presented, what Marco's presented, I know that it's controversial. I know that a lot of people will not agree. And if you don't, feel free to share that. I want to make sure that everybody knows that like the debate is cool. We do that here. But hopefully you guys are hopeful. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Anywhere that you're listening to this, there's a chat box there. Leave us a follow, a rating, a review, wherever you're listening to this. Subscribe to us on Twitch if you would be so kind. If not, that's okay. Follows are cool too. You can use your Amazon Prime subscription.
We got a new follow by 0511. You may call me V earlier in the
Thanks,
show,
V.
So
Appreciate you, V. Twitch.tv/The Comics Pals if you would like to subscribe. And if you want to watch this live, 10:15 every single Saturday morning, 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. Watch our latest book club, the Chainsaw Man book club.
yes, sir.
There you go. What's our next book club? Oh yeah, Batman, The White Knight, and Curse of the White Knight. We'll be reading those and
that's
putting
one.
that out.
Okay,
Yeah, putting that out
It's
soon.
news to me too.
Already got it on the DC app.
Tyler, we're reading it on Tuesday.
Come on, bro.
we're doing it on Tuesday.
We
Yes,
talked
sir.
about that.
Oh, okay.
Didn't we have it was we'll
a
talk
whole
about that off
discuss-
the air. Yeah. There was a
Sorry,
whole
I'm losing
conversation.
track of days. All right, well, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Plugs, Marco.
Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Comics Pals. You can find me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. Come talk to me about Sandman. Sylv, I hope you enjoy it. It is a blast, and anybody who loves those books, I think the translation has been done very well. Tyler, you might enjoy the 24/7, the diner scene.
Oh,
the
okay,
whole
yeah,
diner
I was
episode.
hoping Mr. D would show up.
Yeah, and Sylva's ahead of me. I'm on episodes 5 or 6 at the moment.
I've only done the one. I hate releasing. I prefer a weekly release, so I might stick myself to that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a blast, and anybody who wants to chat about that, join a Discord. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about it as people start to fill in on that.
Tyler.
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. What am I up to? I'm playing a lot of multiverses. Which can we?
Yeah.
We agreed on that. Okay. I'm going to stream tomorrow. So if you guys want to play, let us know. We're shooting for what did we say? 4?
3.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. If you're on the Discord and stuff, we'll put an alert out there. But I'll play some multiverses if you guys wanna join in. I want to see if Marco and Sean's Smash skills translate.
They do not. It is a different mechanical scheme.
By the way, that tomorrow is Sunday.
Oh, yes, I forgot this
So
is
if you're
recorded
hearing
for
this
people.
after,
Oh.
disregard.
Maybe I'll do it on Tuesday too, just to help.
You'll
most
be
people
busy
out.
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. I love the behind the scenes business stuff that happens at these companies, and I'm fascinated in a negative and positive way about the way that the business end impacts the creative end and what can be done by creatives to work within that framework, as terrible as that is. That's probably going to be the subject of my next newsletter, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great time out there, enjoying your summer. Stay cool, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Until next time, we're the Comics Pal signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.